Oh, hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Realized that was a bit more extended of an intro for some of you, but it's because I am messing around with trying to figure out how this Patreon live works properly so that I can actually start it about the same time for everybody. There's a little bit of a delay because on Patreon you have to press a button to go live even though you've gone live. Somebody's car alarm is going off outside. Can you hear that? Oh, now it stopped. So you probably can't. Okay. How's everybody doing? I hope you are all doing quite well. I'm sorry, Bill. You can go back to your Claire Obscure Expedition 33 music listening session if you want. I won't mind. I have mail to get through. Why isn't this working either? I wanted to show you this. Except it's blank. It doesn't seem, let's see. I'm going to, important update. There's a Canada Post strike. Okay. Can I, now that I've gotten that pop up, can I, nope, still can't get to my projects. Let's get started. My stores, maybe. My stores. The whole reason I'm doing that is I want to keep you updated on the book. When, if you were here yesterday, you know that it got rejected from global distribution because I screwed up and didn't put the copyright on the copyright page. But I have now done that. I don't want to cancel my account. Jeez. Oh, there we go. There we go. Now I got to my all righty. Okay, this is good. I now once again have the approve your project for global distribution. So I'm waiting on the copy to get shipped to me so that I can look at it and go, yes, the copyright page is there. Nothing else got messed up. And then I can approve that. But you can buy the ebook, which is approved for global distribution. We checked this yesterday, but let's just see. Amazon Viral Finds, that must have been the sponsor thing. Synced by Tom. What is going on? Synced by Tom Merritt. Okay. Nope. Still Taming the Billionaire by Olivia West, which is definitely not me. But you can go to lulu.com, Lulu.com, and then get it there. Get her done. Let's see. This is what it will look like there. $12.92 in the US. Different prices in different regions, of course. Let's actually... The ebook copy of Synced is out. Yay. There we go. Pinterest and Facebook are the three automatic buttons. I mean, I can do this in other places too, but since it was easy, I thought I would do that. All right. Yes, I will. I mean, basically, there is an audio version of this in large part because some of it's from Know a Little More. But there's a lot in there that is not from Know a Little More. So I will put the copyright date at an angle to commemorate the error. That's funny. I will probably do a full reading of it. It is not short. This book is not short. It looks thin because it's a big old workbook size thing, but I had to do that to keep the price down. 265 pages of, A4 sized stuff. It would have been a lot thicker if I'd done a like smaller hardback form factor. They call that Dutch copyright? Okay, good to know. Well, let's get to the mailbag then, shan't we? Our first mailbag comes from a non-junior. Actually, you know what? You know what I'm going to do? Just for you, just because I know you are awesome and you will appreciate it, I'm going to show you the mailbags as I read them. And on top of that, I'm going to show you them in this Untitled 11. I don't know why it entertains me so much. I know it entertains BioCow too, and a couple other people. Okay. Anon Jr. writes, could we please return Christmas to its previous Black Friday borders? The continued incursions to early November has got to be a violation of some sort. I used to be a little more stringent about this. I used to get very thrown out of my calm by seeing holiday ads before the end of November, when you're like more than a month away. I don't anymore. I don't like seeing them before Halloween because you should have Halloween ads on then. It's just weird. It's communist, says Larry. Sam's Club had Christmas decorations mixed in with the Halloween decorations. That's Rat Madness 312 who said that. Yeah, I've gotten used to that. I've come to terms with the holiday ads in early November. I don't love it either, Anon Jr., but I've learned to live with it. I don't personally start putting my Christmas decorations up until the beginning of December or after Thanksgiving anyway. U.S. Thanksgiving. All right. I know the grilled cheese sandwich thing is an editor's desk thread, but I'm gonna move the conversation over here because I think you all will enjoy it. We talked about adult grilled cheese sandwiches, and I was like, "What makes it adult?" Well, we've started to get lots of responses as to what does make it adult, and this person whose name I did not put, which to me means they didn't sign the email. And I don't always feel like putting the name from the email is appropriate. Hello, Adam12. This person wrote, the first reference like this I saw was a few years ago on the America's Test Kitchen YouTube channel, how to make grown-up grilled cheese sandwiches with Gruyere and chives. It is Max Res Default. Is the JPEG? I guess I could take that out of there. That was just a copy paste thing. Max Res Default JPEG. How to make grown-up grilled cheese sandwiches with Gruyere and chives at that YouTube link. All right, let's take a look. I did try this and it was tasty, though my wife said she prefers the cheese melted from slices rather than grated. Oh, the Gruyere. Yeah, that makes some sense. All right, let's take a look at this and see what we've got to offer here. I got to switch from Untitled 11 to this to be able to do it. Okay. Grown-up grilled cheese. Well, that looks pretty darn good. I'm not going to lie. Okay, America's Test Kitchen. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Give me that close up. Give me that. There we go. Okay. All right. I get it. I'm into it. Sounds good. And it would likely not be something most kids would like. Some kids will. I'm not going to say no kids will. There you go. The wife said she preferred the cheese melted from slices rather than grated, which is a more traditional grilled cheese way of doing things. All right. Still more grilled cheese. Eva writes, hope you are doing well. I just had to put in my 2 cents worth when you mentioned the mayonnaise was a step too far for grilled cheese. I believe what I said is if you put mayonnaise on it, is it still a grilled cheese or is it becoming a sandwich? Eva continues. Try this level up. Instead of buttering the outside of your bread, use mayonnaise instead, and then the regular fake cheese. Fry as usual in a pan. You will be delighted at the taste. Adult version, use good sourdough bread and a nice cheddar. All the best, Eva. Oh my, that makes a lot of sense. Because mayonnaise is just oil and egg white, right? Isn't that what mayonnaise is? Hold on, let me look that up. What is mayonnaise? It's going to tell me it's the devil's food or something. An emulsion of oil and egg yolks. Oh, sorry, not egg white, egg yolk with vinegar or lemon juice. Okay, yeah, I can see that because what you're doing with the butter is you're putting some oil on the bread to crisp it up. So yeah, I can see that working quite well. Larry always uses mayo instead of butter. Look at that. I think y'all are on to something, Larry and Eva. I'm going to give this a shot. Maybe tonight. Although we have shrimp and grits. One of our Tavala meals is shrimp and grits. And we probably should eat the shrimp soon or freeze it. All right. More grilled cheese. Just saying. There was a lot of grilled cheese email, and I felt like it belonged on Mailbag so that all of you could enjoy it. Ambassador Domo says adult grilled cheese is a patty melt for me. Exactly. That's kind of where I was going with the mayo comment last time was like, okay, when does it just become a hot ham and cheese or a patty melt or a Reuben or, you know, my wife uses mayo when making grilled cheese. I prefer a little horseradish and mustard. Oh, she doesn't use mayo on the outside. She uses it on the inside. Yeah. Horseradish and mustard though. I'm with you there. That's good. I will use mayo and butter. Zoe, I'm surprised you don't use bacon grease. Butter on the outside, mayo mixed with the ingredients on the inside, but mayo on the outside. Never thought of that before. All right. Grown-up grilled cheese. I believe this is Ryan. The item that sparked the original discussion last Tuesday consists of apricot preserves, fontina cheese, shallots, stone ground mustard, and put in a panini press. It's okay. Needs something more. The specific cafe has a super basic menu that never, ever, ever changes. I would love to add turkey or ham or salami or something to this beyond the saltiness of the fontina. But I guess once you add the meat, then is it a grilled cheese? Then it really is not a grilled cheese. Then it's a different kind of sandwich. But if you keep it, I mean, apricot preserves are pushing the line a little bit. But if you keep it at cheese and some seasonings like mustard and shallots, and then, yeah, panini, we're on to something there. They had Ambassador Domo at Panini. He'll have what Ryan's having. All right. That is all of our grilled cheese emails for this edition of the Mailbag. On to Jason, who wrote, I've been testing the Samsung XR for a few months now, and you can charge it without unplugging the pack from the glasses. I, too, have struggled to find a good use case other than watching TV in a solo setting. And I have to say, I haven't spent nearly enough time with the Galaxy XR, what with my travels last week, so I need to get back to messing with it again. But that's good to know that you can charge it without unplugging the pack from the glasses, so I don't know what my failure was. And maybe I'll never know. Because it seems to charge just fine now. I don't know. Thank you, Jason, though. And who has questions about the Galaxy XR? You can ask them here or email them to me, feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. I would like some challenges to meet. Some things like, can it do this? Can you do that with it? Is it good for this? I probably should just watch some TV, though, because it sounds like from Jason, what Jason says, that's what it's best at. Just watching your stories in a solo setting, of course, because you're the only one who can see it. Ken Worf says, my wife also adds spices to the outside after putting the butter on, garlic powder and such. That's a move. That's a good move. Hello, Howard. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the... Hey, Andy Beach. I see you sneaking over there in the Substack. Awesome to see you. Oh, and Bill points out you got to dunk the cheese in some tomato soup. And Conrad and Jim are over there in the Substack as well. We have multitudes with us today. This is great. All right, on to the next email. This is from Andrew in Colorado. It didn't surprise me at all that the Coke AI ad, this is the one we reacted to on Monday's mailbag, that the Coke AI ad seemed to be built on the back of older, less capable models. The AI portion only speeds up the initial effort and not whatever set of quality post-production sign-offs are needed to get this thing to air. That is such a good point. We act as if like, well, AI will come and they'll eliminate jobs. Do you know how many people in bureaucracies will justify that they just need to look at something in order to keep their job? That's definitely going to happen. Hello, GPEG84. Hello, Amish Overlord. Hello, G. James B. Mac and cheese with tuna and salsa. That's a hot tuna. That's a hot tuna melt is what that is. All right. Anyway, back to Andrew in Colorado's email. He continues, VO3 only hit in May and Sora 2 was just last month. So he's implying that's way too fast for execs to sign off on, yeah, it's okay to use. I am facing a similar issue in my job as a software engineering consultant. Big legacy companies with tons of paperwork and processes for release are not seeing the benefit of AI speeding up their coders because when you release only occasionally, or occasionally is anything slower than multiple times a day, AI just causes more work to pile up for the next release. It says worm, but I'm pretty sure that's work. We'll fix it. There's a lot of hard work to remake processes to accommodate AI's speed that is coming, and I'm curious to see how many legacy companies actually get on board. Yeah, the paperwork part of this, Andrew, is a really, really, really important part. The sort of bureaucratic resistance. Everybody who's like, so they'll just use AI. Companies will just use AI to replace people. Yeah. Have you seen how people get at justifying their jobs, especially middle management and above? I don't know about that. Good one, Andrew. Appreciate that. All right. And then I believe this is our final one. It's a bit of a wall of text. Dave here. And this is in response to me talking about getting the new upgraded voice assistant on my Amazon Echo. Dave here, and for the past 8 years or so, I've hosted a podcast all about Amazon's voice assistant, originally as part of my day job at a nonprofit. Now the show is my own, and I'm doing it independently, and I'm on my 8th season with over 370 episodes. So, well, congratulations, Dave. I've been playing with Plus since episode 356, which I put out about 19 weeks ago. Thank you for the context. Since then, I've done over a dozen episodes on Plus. I'd have to say its impact is more felt over time than anything else, and you forget quickly how dumb or limited the old A-Lady was. Simple commands to control your thermostat, as an example, or the ability to burrow down into a topic or food recipe is awesome. Don't forget the ability to upload documents and have it triage them for you, or if in the future you need to reference them. It's not perfect by any means, but I'd find it impressive if you could use it for a month and return to the old dumb A-Lady. I think you'd be surprised how quickly you adapt to its natural dialogue and conversational style of interacting, more than likely figuring out what you want. The most difficult thing to get used to, in my opinion at first, is the continuing to listen to you after it makes a statement, formerly called follow-up mode. But now it's on by default, so that takes some getting used to, and if you're in a noisy environment, it might cause some trouble. I recently did an episode about agentic buying with A-Lady, and this is something previously I would never have done, but now is a powerful tool in my toolbox. Love the show. Give the new Plus some time. She'll grow on you. My show is called the Echo Tips Podcast. Thank you, Dave. That's helpful. I've only been with her for a little over a week now. And I do need to dig in more, but she does not appear on any of my other Echoes. And I probably need to do something, but if people have more than one Echo, they're not going to want to have to do something. So I'm not sure why, when I said, yes, upgrade me, it didn't say, would you like to be upgraded on all the others? Unless I was misinformed when I was told that every model that I have could support the new one, because it's all done in the cloud. So I am a little disappointed that I still have the old A-Lady on all of my Echoes except the new one. The new one, again, it's only been a little more than a week. Still not that impressive. It does the things that the old one would do just as well. It's not doing anything worse. But I have tried to ask it some things that it either can't do, can't understand, or got wrong. The other day I asked it, if it could, who is pitching tomorrow in the World Series? Because Game 6 had just finished. And it said, the World Series is over. The Dodgers won it in 5 games. And I'm like, I believe you're referring to last year's World Series. I'm talking about the current World Series. And then it told me, oh, yes, you're right. The current World Series is over and the Dodgers won in 7 games, which is true now, but was not true at the time that she said it. So maybe she can see the future, or was hallucinating. Either way, it was not a sufficiently accurate answer. That is just typical. You don't always get the right answer on a question things. So I'm not dinging this for it. But it is something where previously the old one wouldn't have even tried. It would have like, I found this on the internet or something like that, right? That's what Siri does all the time. So the fact that she tried to answer, I think, is better. But yeah, I have not yet come to the point where I've had that moment yet where I say like, oh yeah, this is so much better. I definitely have had conversational things that she can respond to, but not in that way where it's like, that really has changed my life, that I could say it that way, especially because a lot of the stuff I'm saying, I'm in the other room with the old A lady anyway. So I'm not using the new one all the time because I'm not always in that room. We have a lot too. We have an Echo Show in the kitchen. We have an Echo Show in the bathroom. We have the original Echo here in my office, and we have an Echo Dot. No, it's the last generation Echo is in Eileen's office. Damon says, I used the Plus version for a few weeks, but my family and I really didn't like it. She took longer to respond, and we really liked the old voice. I'm not sure if the longer response time was due to older devices. No, I think the longer response time is due to thinking. I've noticed the longer response time as well. I do like the new voice better, though. I am a fan of that. Time traveling AI. I know, KT. We still got grilled cheese conversation going on in there, by the way. So, if you're into that sort of thing. Yeah, I really wish you could change the wake command too, of any of these. Welcome, David, to the Substack stream. I only have unified chat across Twitch, YouTube, and LinkedIn because I'm using StreamYard, and StreamYard doesn't bring in the external things that I have to use a stream key with, like Patreon and Substack, at least not yet. Maybe one of these days. Eclay says, I've had Plus for a few months, and I think I prefer the old one. The new one gets things wrong a lot. Yeah, I know what you mean. But the old one didn't get things wrong. It just failed. And it would get things wrong too. But it would more often just be like, I don't know. Or here's an answer I found on the web. Which A-Lady does. I know that's more of a Siri thing, but I've had A-Lady do it too. All right, that is all of our emails for today. So thank you everybody for sending the emails along. Very, very, very much appreciate it. I was glad you all got to see Untitled 11 again and know that it is doing well. We should check some tech news since that's what I'm known for. Where is my tech news? Okay, this is one of those situations where I have so many windows open. I can screen cap it. There is me looking up mayonnaise. But I don't know where it is on my desktop. So I can't change it from mayonnaise, at least not right at the moment. Oh, there you are. You were hiding behind Untitled 75. How often does Untitled 11 get cleaned out? Well, it depends on what you mean. If you mean deleted, all the time. It's just a scratch pad. that I cut and paste things on. It's what I use to write things, and then I copy them over into the rundown, and then I delete what was there. So it gets cleaned out all the time. Its history probably goes back a decade at this point. I don't know if it keeps history that long, but like it has been a continuous document for that long. All right. Ooh, we have 233 stories already. I just cleaned this out not that long ago. A lot of Palantir earnings stuff out there. Rivian creates another spin-off company called Mind Robotics. Oh. Rivian is spun out after it created micro-mobility startup also in March. I think that's interesting. I don't know if it'll make the show, but I'm going to mark that because maybe. I let Gemini watch My Family for the weekend and it got weird. Jennifer Patterson Toohey. She writes good stuff. That's probably worth reading. EU sees time and space to find an Xperia solution. Okay. Yeah, the Xperia thing's been interesting. You had the Netherlands arm and the Chinese arm disconnected where they couldn't send parts to each other because of the trade dispute. And then there was talk that they were going to be split and Netherlands was going to nationalize one. And anyway, it didn't happen. Everything's fine now. Influencers have fractured reality in Portland. Oh, no. Oh, okay. That's all about that stuff. I see. That gets complicated. NVIDIA cannot sell its most advanced AI chips to China. I mean, did we think they would? I'm not at all surprised by that. Oversupply of oil. That's a new one on me. Not really, but yeah. There was a time when we wouldn't have thought oversupply was an issue. Megan Maroney among stars tapped for CMA Country Christmas. It's not the Megan Maroney who writes for Axios, but it entertains me whenever I see that. It's spelled different. Deploying to Amazon's cloud is a pain in the AWS, says the Register. .NET 10 coming to .NET conference next week. Bain Capital, IBM cutting jobs. That's the Register, so began notifying employees. I believe this is something that was already announced, and now they're notifying the employees that are affected, which is not great. Samsung working on HDR10 Plus. Brussels airport closed after reported sighting of drone. I flew out of Brussels airport once. That would have been very annoying. It's a nice airport. OpenAI brings Sora video generating app to Android. There we go. That's a tech story. All right. An app coming to Android, even if it is AI. OpenAI releasing its Sora social video on Android devices. Okay. We'll just see about that. Ooh, I wonder if we can do that from here. It was used before October 27th. That was weird. All right. All right. It's making me. Oh, I was. Okay. It's doing a passkey thing, and I was touching my fingerprint thing, but. Oh, okay. Yes. Now it's working. Now we will be able to see if it. Oh, look, it already showed up. There it is. Da, 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 da. All right, now I need to log in. Somebody's been waiting a long time to put out that headline. No kidding. Anyone thinking about getting that robot that can fill your dishwasher in more than 5 minutes? Yes, Untitled 11 is a living document. Wait. Yes, use my passkey. It was going to make me put in my password for my Google account on my Google Pixel. Oops, an error occurred. Ay, 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 ay. Your authorization session was not initialized. Okay, let's try this again. Now is it initialized? I've got a little bouncy thing. Don't send me notifications. Default to saying no to notifications. You can always turn them on later. Hey, look at that. I went right to a frog pants, Sora, of someone with a beard made of kimchi. Now he's wearing pudding. Yeah. Hey, look at that. It's all there, including my Richard Nixon welcoming Dick Cheney to heaven. Larry just installed it on his Pixel as well. Well, there you go. Well, we can say it's true. It's true. I have now installed it. So there you go. Why is that still there? Is that a different window? Present arms. Yeah, there we go. All right, back to the news. Oh, yeah, and I need to mark that so I don't forget it. What's with all the memes? K-pop Demon Hunters returns to second place in its 20th week on Netflix top 10, hitting 14 million views. Well, good for it. Pew Suitor. This is St. Louis sports. Deck your house in Govi's smart string lights. Okay. News. Game Pass is adding Call of Duty Black Ops 7 and 10 other titles. We don't cover that kind of thing because I figure like the people that want to know the new titles have plenty of places to find it, and so many other people just don't care what got added, right? If you're not a Game Pass subscriber, it doesn't really matter unless it's particularly unusual. Like, shocker, they did this and they weren't expected to. Live lane guidance for the Polestar. I don't drive a Polestar. OpenAI app now available for Sora. Okay, so that's been out there for more than an hour. Samsung has a new line of micro SD express cards for the Switch 2. What makes them cool? Primarily intended, Nintendo's latest console only works with micro SD express, maximum sequential read speeds, up to 800 megabytes per second. And includes dynamic thermal guard that helps things stay cool. You could use them for other things, but they were designed for the Switch. A-series MacBook, we talked about that on DTNS today. That is an interesting move.
I didn't get that.
No,
Could you try again?
You wouldn't have because it wasn't for you. Siri. You know, whichever phone I haven't been using is the one that will act like it wants to talk to me. My Pixel goes off all the time, but because I just picked up the Pixel, Siri went off. That time it went off because I said its name. All right. Amazon Echo Dot Max review. Disappointing sound. But A+ is the star. Yeah, all right, fine. Predator Badlands teases Alien crossover. Apple TV sets Safe Houses. Roadhouse 2. Rico Verhoeven, Michael Chandler, and 4 others. How China spreads authoritarian practices beyond its borders. Is it okay for politicians to use AI? Let's see. Shopify expects strong holiday revenue. Yeah, okay. It would be bigger news if it didn't, I suppose. BC Premier says province won't run anti-tariff ads. Pizza Hut parent company says it's considering selling the chain. Yum Brands selling Pizza Hut. But Pizza Hut gets nearly half its sales from the U.S. Somebody's about to out Pizza the Hut, finally. All right, I think that is everything that was in there. My pixel goes up all the time. Yeah, me too. I just asked Gemini, what is the time? It answered me in French. I asked, why are you answering in French? And it reverted to English. I'm so glad Sora's on here now so that I can watch my dog eat ramen on the wide screen. Yeah. That's not a real video of my dog, but it sure looks like it could be. That's nice on the unfolded screen. Got the perfect selfie. Remix it into different styles. Why are you giving me that? Oh, it switched to Google Photos. I must have bumped something. Oh, I bumped something in the lower. This is the end of Casablanca with Katharine Hepburn and Audrey Hepburn. All right. Cool. Alex Padilla says he won't run for governor. Well, good. Stay senator then. See if I care. Maybe Gorbachev is buying Pizza Hut. Is Gorbachev still alive? He's not, right? Mikhail Gorbachev. Died 2022. I knew it was recently, last couple of years. He was 91, though. Lived a long life. I need to move all of my cameras off of Nest's app. It's really bugging me. Every time I look at Google Home, it's like, wouldn't you like to move this camera to Google Home? I'm like, I'm looking at it in Google Home. So it seems like it has moved over. But basically what you're asking me is, wouldn't you like to not be able to access this camera on the Nest app anymore? And I'm like, that seems like trouble. Why don't you just, I understand that there are engineering reasons behind, but it's very anti-consumer to just be like, we're going to support both platforms and make you decide where it's hosted. Pizza has been in a downturn. It has gone from sit down to a mostly delivery business. Is that true? I like this. I appreciated someone's foldable over the weekend. Saw the end of the World Series looking over their shoulder while at a football game. That's lovely. All right. I think that's all the stuff to talk about today. Apple plans to launch a low-cost laptop. We got that. Perplexity accuses Amazon of bullying after receiving an aggressive legal threat demanding Comet not make purchases on users' behalf. Bullying in this case is just words. It's not a legal thing. Amazon wants Perplexity to prevent its users from using its browser to make purchases on their behalf. Perplexity described the letter as an aggressive legal threat. Users can ask Comet to find items and make purchases on Amazon, and they love this experience. Amazon has taken steps to prevent external agents from crawling its website, including those from OpenAI, Google, and Meta. Easier shopping means more transactions. Amazon said in a blog post that third-party shopping agents should operate openly and respect service provider decisions. Oh, Perplexity's doing something that Amazon doesn't like. It's changing a user behavior that Amazon tracks and gets data from. This is my own opinion. So Comet's taking a shortcut that only a browser agent could and cutting out some data. What Perplexity is not operating transparently and is evading the company to gain unauthorized access to its store. It also argued that Perplexity's agents degrade the shopping experience by showing products that don't broaden discovery. It's probably skipping past recommendations, lack personalized recommendations, and may not be the fastest delivery speed available to shoppers. I wonder if it stays logged out until it finds the exact thing that you want, and then it logs you in. Maybe it clears caches. Amazon pointed to food delivery, delivery service, and online travel agencies as examples of applications that operate with consent from providers. Yeah, this is all about your data. This is all about Amazon wanting to keep your data and being able to recommend things to you. That's intriguing. Skipping past sponsored products is a really good possibility, Howard. Profile of Common Core. These are all things that were out earlier. Project Suncatcher to launch 2 solar-powered satellites, each with 4 TPUs into low Earth orbit as it seeks to scale AI compute. Okay. Google wants to build data centers in space. Put some of them in space. The idea could meet soaring demand for compute, but reduce carbon footprint because it uses solar power. Keeps them constantly in view of the sun, allowing them to continually run off solar power. They would be deployed as a constellation where they'd travel close enough together for high bandwidth wireless communication. Project Suncatcher. That may not be a bad idea. I mean, and there's always downsides to these sort of things, and cost would be one, but maybe over time, the cost makes up to it. StarCloud, which has partnered with NVIDIA, plans to build what look like more traditional data centers in space with modular containers filled with server racks. Google's idea takes a much simpler approach by launching fleets of small satellites and connecting them wirelessly, reducing the need to carry large, bulky server racks on rockets. Okay, so Google's doing a design version of this where they launch kind of individual servers, right? And then they talk to each other in the vacuum. If satellites are positioned hundreds of meters apart, they can use an optical connection that achieves fast enough speeds with current tests of about 1.6 terabits per second. Current satellite constellations like Starlink are roughly 120 kilometers apart. Google used physics modeling to show how it is possible to keep them in a tighter formation using modern thruster technology. This is pretty cool. A European-funded study questioned the net positive carbon impact of data centers in space, considering the carbon footprint of rocket launches and the upper atmosphere emissions that can be particularly harmful. Indeed, the results of our study indicate that data centers in space become more interesting than terrestrial data centers if and only if the launcher can be reusable and emits less than 370 kilograms of CO2 per kilograms of payload over the entire lifespan. SpaceX's underdeveloped Starship may significantly improve on the amount of CO2 and other pollutants emitted during launch. So, if they can get on a Starship rocket, maybe it's worth it. Certainly worth it for power generation needs, maybe not CO2 emission needs, though. That's fascinating. All right, that was a good one. Anthropic projects revenues of up to $70 billion in 2028. And then they hope to have $5 billion next year. They want to be cash flow positive as soon as 2027. All right. See if they do it. It's not impossible. Hey, there's lots of news out this afternoon, turns out. Good stuff. Well, thanks, everybody, for coming along for the ride. It was a lovely mailbag episode with you. Always enjoyable to check things. Thank you, Peggy. Good to see you in the Substack, joining along with everybody. Thank you, Lord Mulgar and Bill over there, and Damon over there on Patreon, and everybody over here on Twitch and YouTube. Good to see you all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Goodbye. Cord Killers coming up for live viewers in just about an hour.